While 2018 was the transition phase for smartphone design, with manufacturers doing all it takes to eliminate the notch and to introduce new tech like in-display fingerprint scanners, 2019 has clearly been the year of the refined flagship. Phones like the Huawei P30 Pro, the OnePlus 7 Pro, the Reno 10X Zoom, and a few others have been leading the march in terms of refinement. Having said that, after using the Galaxy Note 10 Plus extensively for the past few days, I am convinced that this phone is the pinnacle of refinement. Yes, there are shortcomings, but after using it, you will completely forget about them. Hi, I'm Ershad from Mr. Phone, and this is our review of the newly launched Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus. The phone that wasn't supposed to exist in the first place. That is, if we believed the stories that said that Samsung was going to kill the Note line after the Note 9. Hey, that rhymed. Hey guys, if you want to watch more such cool tech videos, don't forget to hit that subscribe button because we want to grow the Mr. Phone family, and also hit the bell icon right next to it to get notified whenever we put out an awesome new tech video that takes a lot of effort to make. To start off with the design, here's the thing. The Galaxy Note 10 Plus is super refined and polished, and this Aura Glow variant looks really flashy in my opinion. Now, true to the design ethos of the Note line, this is the biggest Note smartphone yet. So much so that it is breaching the tablet category now. However, thanks to the extremely slim, to the point that it is almost non-existent, bezels, you're not dealing with a behemoth. Having said that, you cannot, even if you have gigantic hands like mine, use the phone with one hand. The weight distribution is fine though. But that's not the point of the Note anyway, considering you get a tool like the S Pen to go along with it. It is meant to be used like a notebook. The S Pen inside the Note 10 Plus now has a unibody design and a few new cool tricks up its sleeve. Firstly, yes, the S Pen has a gyroscope and an accelerometer built in. What this means is that you can give commands to a few apps using the S Pen. Essentially, inside the camera app, you can swipe between the camera modes using left or right swipes, or zoom in by making a full circle in the air. I guess it'd come in handy when the phone is attached to a selfie stick. Otherwise, these magic wand gestures beyond the initial excitement are quite pointless. By the way, you can perform a few gestures in the YouTube app as well. While the SDK is open for other developers, I predict very few takers. What is excellent, however, is the fact that you get optical character recognition OCR integration within notes. Firstly, handwritten notes are searchable by typing in the search bar thanks to OCR. Similarly, you can convert your handwritten text to electronic word as well. I think a lot of folks are going to find this very handy. Coming back to the design, the Note 10 Plus is essentially a glass sandwich body with Corning's latest Gorilla Glass 6 on the front and the back for protection. There is a very slim aluminum railing, but gripping the phone is not a problem as such. I like the boxier design of the Note 10 Plus compared to the curved edges of the Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus. And you get IP68 certification for protection against water damage. Oh, and by the way, there is a very slight camera bump on the rear, but it is not too distracting. The SIM card tray is on the top panel, and it is a hybrid one on the Note 10 Plus. At the bottom, you get a Type-C port, a speaker to its right, and of course, the slot for the S Pen. Most importantly, all of it is aligned symmetrically, which was a problem with the Samsung flagships in the past. That said, what's conspicuously absent is the headphone jack. Yup. Sad indeed. If you are an audio nerd though, I'd suggest you pick up the USB Type-C audio dongle such as the Hydis Sonata HD for your audiophile needs. There's another problem. The darn power key has now been moved to the left. Furthermore, it is called the side key now. The side key is set to open Bixby by default, but you can change it to work as the power button too. So that's a relief. In fact, you now have a shutdown icon in the notifications panel as well. All that said, my muscle memory could not get adjusted to the fact that the power button is on the left edge. I guess this is how left-handers feel when the power button is generally placed on the right edge. Overall, I think that the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus has a well laid out design and is possibly the most premium glass-bodied smartphone I've ever held in my hand. In fact, holding this phone gives me some sort of inferiority complex. Like I don't deserve to hold this. Like this piece of exquisite beauty deserves to be in the hands of someone rich, classy and posh. Maybe someone like Saif Ali Khan, I guess, the Nawab of Patodi. we need to discuss this bindi, this weird hole punch camera at the center of the display. What was Samsung thinking? Okay, I'm just being dramatic. I have no problem with it. You won't have a problem with it either once you start using the phone. It just disappears into your peripheral vision. I don't know why everyone is making a fuss of that. Samsung makes the best AMOLED panels, period. This is the reason why even Apple uses a Samsung panel on its iPhones. The Galaxy Note 10 Plus has the most attractive display I have seen on a smartphone yet. This 6.8-inch QHD Plus dynamic AMOLED panel is crisp, colorful, bright, excellent, fantabulous, magnificent. Just add all the superlatives you want to because it is just the best. This display can do HDR, it has more than 1000 nits of brightness when you want it, it has a natural color mode with great color accuracy. Really, what more could you want? Well, there is one thing, a higher refresh rate display. This is where the OnePlus 7 Pro makes a case for itself with its 90Hz panel. I do miss the high refresh rate display on the OnePlus 7 Pro after using the Note 10 Plus. The rear camera setup on the Galaxy Note 10 Plus is nearly identical to the one on the Galaxy S10 Plus, except that now you get the fourth time-of-flight VGA camera. As for the specs, you get a 12 megapixel primary shooter with a variable aperture lens that can switch between f/1.5 and f/2.4 aperture on the fly. Then there is a 12 megapixel telephoto lens for 2x optical zoom with a larger f/2.1 lens now. Finally, you have the 16 megapixel wide angle camera that can do stabilized 4K video. It would be easy to presume that the Note 10 Plus takes similar looking pictures to the S10 Plus considering they both have the same hardware, but Samsung has worked extensively on the software algorithm to improve the picture quality. We did our massive camera comparison test recently and adjudged the Note 10 Plus as the best smartphone camera. Furthermore, there are quite a few new features, or should we say gimmicks, that will keep you interested in the cameras. Let me break down the camera performance. Firstly, the dynamic range on the primary camera has been improved drastically. The images look punchy and colorful, and the highlight clipping issues are now somewhat under control. But the camera still struggles with reproducing reds without color bleed when you are shooting in macro mode. Samsung continues to do artificial sharpening of images, but it doesn't look too bad. Additionally, close-ups look excellent, and so do pictures of human subjects. The low light shots are now enhanced by the new night mode. But even without it, the camera can take some well-controlled punchy shots that will make for a great Instagram upload. The details are not as crisp as the P30 Pro in low light, but I think the camera does a commendable job nonetheless. The night mode does a good job too. The telephoto camera is better in low light now, and it is used to zoom into subjects for portrait shots. And I think the portrait shots definitely look super attractive. The wide angle camera is my favorite camera of the lot. You get the widest field of view, excellent dynamic range, crisp details and colors, supremely stabilized 4K video, pretty decent low light pictures. This is impressive stuff really. Ever since I received the Note 10 Plus, I have been using the wide angle camera more often than not. In fact, the 4K video recording on the Galaxy Note 10 Plus is stable and crisp even from the regular camera. Also, the dynamic range can be enhanced in video recording by shooting in HDR10. The sound recording quality is next to none as well. And when it comes to video, you have the 960fps slow motion option as well. But one of the new additions to video is the live focus mode, and it is very patchy at the moment. The glitch effect does a good job of fixing the issues with regular blur though. And it looks pretty cool while doing it. And you can now do AR doodles on your friend's face if you want to have fun. Beyond the first few tries, I wasn't particularly interested, and that could also be because I make the world's worst artist. Oh, and then you have the option to zoom into the audio and amplify it. This helps capture the sound better when you are recording something. But I wouldn't suggest going beyond 2x for video recording because of the image quality degradation. So what's the point of this audio zoom in feature then? There's also this really cool 3D scanner feature, and it couldn't scan a human subject properly despite multiple attempts. While the app is a mess right now, I guess there is still time for it to be fixed. The Note 10 Plus runs on Android 9 Pie with One UI on top of it. I have discussed One UI at length in my previous Samsung phone reviews, and you can check them out if you want to know more. It is my second favorite OEM skin after Oxygen OS, and that's saying a lot. But there are changes to DeX and Microsoft integration that I want to talk about. Firstly, DeX can work now with any laptop or MacBook. All you need is a Type-C cable and the DeX PC software installed on your laptop of choice. It is kind of slow but pretty useful. However, I really don't know why one would need this feature apart from showing it off. DeX makes sense on a monitor plus keyboard setup, the best. The Microsoft Alliance has ensured that now you get a link button on the drop-down notification shade. It works well in case you want to sync your messages and photos or cast your phone's screen to the laptop. The Note 10 Plus has a new upgraded 925 chipset that is based on a 7nm EUV process for better power efficiency. It's moved on from the FinFET process. And the Note 10 Plus comes with a base 12GB of RAM and two storage variants, 256GB or 512GB, with the option to increase it by adding a micro SD card. I have a few benchmark numbers and the Note 10 Plus beats the S10 Plus and the P30 Pro. However, it continues to lag behind the Snapdragon 845 toting OnePlus 7. Now these numbers don't mean anything if the performance isn't good. The Note 10 Plus in my 9 years as a professional tech reviewer is the most responsive Samsung phone I have used. The phone blazed through all the tasks I threw at it and gaming too. I played PUBG without any frame drops or heating issues after a long 2-hour session. Having said that, PUBG doesn't support HDR extreme settings on the Exynos 9825 yet. Oh, by the way, I even found the ultrasonic fingerprint sensor to be faster on the Galaxy Note 10 Plus compared to the Galaxy S10 Plus. That said, it is still slow to unlock compared to the optical scanner on the OnePlus 7 Pro. Also, the lack of haptic feedback and the smaller area for registering your touch are two major concerns. Going in blind to unlock from a dark screen requires some effort and learning. Talking about haptic feedback, I think it is excellent on the Note 10 Plus and feels improved from previous Samsung phones. The Note 10 Plus is by far the best phone for watching Netflix shows, but the lack of a headphone jack is a bummer. I did try a USB Type-C dongle, but the sound quality will govern by the DAC inside the dongle and not the phone. You will need a pass-through dongle to use the DAC on the phone. The sound quality is good, but I think even the K20 Pro has a better DAC and makes full use of Qualcomm's acoustic audio. Samsung needs to up its audiophile game. Also, the stereo speakers don't sound as good as the S10 Plus with or without Dolby Atmos. Having said that, the bundled AKG earphones are good for what it's worth. And moreover, you get great Bluetooth audio with LDAC support as well. So we're at the section where I gently discuss the call quality and the quality of the earpiece as well. But we have a problem here. I really don't know where is the earpiece on this thing. I mean, I know that the display is not vibrating to produce sound, but I can't find the earpiece. In case anybody knows where it is, do let me know in the comment section below. Having said that, the sound quality during calls is sufficient, but I feel that the noise cancellation could have been better. But the caller on the other hand could hear me clearly, which means that the mics are great too. Moving on to the large 4300 mAh battery inside the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus. Coupled with the 7nm processor, I expected the battery life to be great, but I couldn't be more wrong. In fact, reviewers who have been using the Snapdragon variant in the US have been getting excellent battery life. I'm disappointed. I consistently got only around 5 hours and 30 minutes of screen on time on moderate usage. And on most occasions, the battery would also last only about 12 hours of a work day. This was on FHD Plus resolution with the system-wide dark mode turned on and with always on display switched off. Honestly, this is very average battery life. That said, you get a 25-watt charger inside the box and it can charge the 4300 mAh battery in an hour and 15 minutes, which is impressive. Moreover, the phone supports 45-watt fast charging and therefore you can further improve speeds by buying the charger, which is sold separately. That's not it. You can also reverse charge other products wirelessly by placing them on the Note 10's chassis. So finally, the Galaxy Note 10 Plus, despite the lack of a headphone jack, has everything crammed into the most compact 6.8-inch smartphone till date. Having said that, is it worth the sticker price of rupees 80,000 for the base variant of the Galaxy Note 10 Plus comparing the competition in the market? Well, let's compare the Galaxy S10 Plus. And if you ask me, the Exynos 9825 and the design is enough to convince a long-time Samsung user to consider the Note 10 Plus over the S10 Plus. Even otherwise, the price difference is not much for you to not consider the Note 10 Plus as your first choice. The Huawei P30 Pro has great cameras, but the company's future is up in the air with the Mate 30 Pro doomed with no Google support. Honestly, it has become tougher and tougher to recommend a Huawei phone considering the negative backlash from the US. But I really hope the company's situation improves soon. The biggest competitor to the Note 10 Plus is actually the OnePlus 7 Pro. This premium flagship has wowed everyone with its high refresh rate panel and great cameras. That said, the Note 10 Plus has multiple advantages over the OnePlus 7 Pro, with the S Pen, a better design and a brighter and more color accurate display. Having said that, the law of diminishing returns kicks in here. The overall worth that you get from the Note 10 Plus might not be so much for someone who has already made up his or her mind about the OnePlus 7 Pro. In the end, I have had a great experience with the Galaxy Note 10 Plus, and I'm going to be switching to this phone as my primary device. And I'm really excited to find out if the Galaxy Note 10 Plus ends up winning this year's Mr. Phone Award for the best smartphone of the year, just like the Galaxy Note 9 did last year. So I hope you guys liked the review. That's it from me. I'm Ershad from Mr. Phone. Do let me know in the comment section below what you thought about this review. Until next time, goodbye and Godspeed, my friends.